Previously on Bren. How do you say that?
Brennyn Sabar.
I'm not saying that. That's not a word.
It's in the script. You have to say
It's fake. It's a fake word.
You just said aristitium not 45 minutes ago.
Now that's a real word.
Is it? Are you sure?
I've named it that. And it's a name.
Okay, well this is named Brennyn Sabar, so can you please just say that?
It's not a word.
Winston, get a dictionary. We need a dictionary in here. Previously on Brennyn Sabar. Now, how does this tie back into
I gotta stop you right there. This is bigger than both of us.
What? Are you going somewhere? Excuse me!
I assume you all know why we've been gathered here today. The bees are here. Follow me. Oh, well, all of me decided to do a dual Voltron sort of thing.
And you did this by severing the space-time continuum?
Welcome to the Aristitium.
Is that a word?
And I'm done.
I guess.
Oh dear. I appear to have stepped out of the bounds of our established canon.
So really what you've done is you've fulfilled the dying wish of a man who is not dead yet.
And I'm done.
I guess.
Alright, fellas. Pack it in. We're done here.
Oh, Lord. That brings up some bad memories. Zakkan? God. This is my fault in a lot of ways. I know I say that every time he does something stupid, but I shouldn't have let him read quantum physics. It was a mistake. Winston, I'm going to need you to do some digital painting to edit out what are some very, very clear continuity errors. That definitely was not there a minute ago. I'm going to attribute that to quantum field fluctuations and never explain what that's supposed to mean, and then just leave because this place is clearly dangerous. So, here's the thing. I know I spent a lot of effort on this, and about 30 minutes of mental anguish trying to get it to work. It doesn't quite work how I want it to, in that it's slow and clunky, and the color mixtures are not, more often than not, disappointing. So I'm going to rip it out and replace it. I realize that that may be seen as what's the word I'm looking for? Unconventional in some lights. I agree, but I want to make it better. And also, there's the problem of I have that display window downstairs that does absolutely nothing. And I'd like to have a display window that works when I'm mixing these colors. Unfortunately, we're not yet in the version where I can mine pistons more quickly with a pickaxe, so I'm just going to be here for several hours tearing these things out. I need to remind me at some point. I got to get a thing in the Datapack that's an item magnet, so I can just pick up all this garbage without having to sprint across the entire goddamn room for it. Okay. Winston, you could have cut the video like 45 minutes ago. I don't know why you're still showing this. That, which is hopefully not on anything important, which then goes there. Alright, if I have not screwed this up, this should work. Screwed it up. How have I done that? The observer's backwards. I hate these things. Ha! Okay, so I've done a bit of work, by which I mean I've finished it. I put together a piston tape that sort of operates, it's sort of automatic. The first piston has to be triggered by something. Obviously you don't want it fully automatic, because then it makes too much goddamn noise all the time, and it's a mess all around in general. So that piston tape is hooked up to an observer that is hooked up to this wooden wheel, which is a new item that I've added that does absolutely nothing except for the fact that I needed a wheel. So I put a wheel here. You hit that, piston tape triggers, and then the beacon beam changes color. Hit it again, so on and so forth. Sometimes it flashes white. Not a problem. There we go. I think in the future I would like to have another piston tape in the back over here that's controlled from above but still hooked up to the same wheel, so that you know what colors in the cycle are going to show up next. It's just a thought. And then I got this lever which shuts it off entirely. And then you can see in here these are just trapdoors that they're coming through, so you don't look down and notice that there's a torch under there, for example. Keeps mobs from spawning. Which, for some reason, the end rods, you'd think that'd be the point of the end rods, but no, rest assured that torch is completely necessary. It's not necessary. I should probably remove that, but I'm too committed to the bit now. So, my only concern is that it's a little dark over here, but not dark enough that mobs will spawn. Okay, didn't want to do that. That's what happens when you hit F3 and A, for those that still don't know that. It's not great. So, now we can actually not only see the color of the beacon from the preview window, but we can't see it. There we go. But we can also, that's backwards. Not only can we see the beacon from outside, we can also see it from the preview window. It's been a long day. I want to go to bed, but it's only 12:45 in the morning, and I haven't been awake for that long. So, what's a guy to do? Do that. Yeah, see, this is what I wish mixing beacon beam colors would produce, but as it stands, it just sort of gets duller the more colors you mix in. I wish it worked on an RGB style system so that I can just mix and match as I was trying to do, but it doesn't look very good. So now we got those. I'm thinking I might maybe swap this out for a second wheel that controls another mechanism upstairs so that you can actually mix and match more than one color. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I could have a mechanism like in the ceiling. I don't know what I'm going to do up here at all. There's a lot of empty space in here. I'll think of something. So I could have a mechanism here where you can just physically put a piece of glass up there and it'll just push it into the path of the beacon beam and activate it. That's a thought. But I don't know how I would handle that at the moment. So, yeah, that's actually all I have. I didn't have anything else. I was going to do more, but then Zach's kind of disappeared into the space-time continuum, so I don't know where he went. He's just gone now. Really puts a damper on my plans, because Palms Ahoy is kind of his thing. Alright, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing this, and nobody's going to stop me. And they say, "Oh, Kirven, it's a bad investment." Well, you know what? I don't care what you think. Look how many of these things I have, okay? That's a lot. I'm not pressed for these things. I'm not. Everything I have has mending on it. Get out of here. Everything I've got mending on it, except the bow, which I'm working on that. I'm not gonna run out. It's not a hot commodity. I got that many of those. I can buy half of the tools I need from the villagers over there anyway. And onto here, I got more of those. And I know that looks like it's iron. It's just dyed white. It's not iron, rest assured. So I'm not exactly pressed for material. And I got more in there. So I'm making one. Because I got stuff I need to do with it. And I'd rather not have to keep making new stone hoes every 5 minutes. There we go. And nobody's going to stop me. Now, where do I keep my anvil? There we go. Okay. Now, let's get to the actual... Let's get to what I need this for. Let's get to the good stuff, which I don't have any of the materials for. I got these. I need some of you, and as much of that as I can carry. What? Do you genuinely think you have a customer base out here? in the kelp forest. Alright, so I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking, Kirven, why did I just sit and watch you pour dirt into a random hole underneath the Palms Ahoy Resort and Casino? Well, simple fact of the matter is that I've added quite a bit of food to the game, like this razor juice right here, which we're going to put in a safe location because it's technically illegal in this part of the country. Please open. Thank you. Server is not doing great today. Or, well, I was hoping those would be done by the time I got back over here. So now I have to take an awkward pause in my conversation. Or these tamales right here. And to do that, I need ingredients. And if I want to get the virus outbreak has led to a lot of people self-quarantining, and I would imagine that this has led to quite a bit of an uptick in people playing online video games, which has in turn increased a demand for online video game server hosting, which in turn means that I would imagine the machine that this server is being hosted off of is also supporting several other machines at the same time, leading to a sharp decrease in server performance. I'm going to attribute this, instead of my own blind screwing around with the Datapack, to the cause of today's performance issues. God damn it, this happens every time. So, as I was saying, if I want to make these foods with these ingredients, I need to actually go out. Can we please just thank you? God. If I want to go get these ingredients, I have to farm them. I will not be derailed by you. I have to farm them myself, which I don't like doing because that takes up my valuable time. And apparently, given the way that my time is being vastly distorted by high latency today, it seems that I don't have as much of it as I think I do. So, instead, I would like to have something else do my farming for me. Now, ordinarily this would be quite difficult, but fortunately, due to a loophole in the Datapack that I have not yet been able to work out and have instead embraced as a feature, I don't need to do all of my farming myself. And it's never been easier with dispensers. Just throw some of those in there, and some of you, and some of you. And I should have cleared this out before I started with this. Oh lord, it's gotten worse. Alright, can we do this now? Are we done? Can I? Okay, so here's what you need to know about these seeds. These seeds, this one in particular, regular wheat seeds don't count for the purposes of what I'm about to say. These seeds are, they're not seeds, they're gassed spawn eggs. But they've been, I took the ghast out. Don't worry, there's no ghast in there. But you see where it says 6 NBT tags? What that is it's telling it that instead of a ghast, when I put it down, I want it to be an armor stand, which you can't see right now, but rest assured it's there. And that armor stand's got a little thing on it that makes it look like it's a crop. And so what I've done is, these are beetroots you're looking at. I've made beetroots invisible because I didn't think it would be much of a huge loss to the world if I had to sort of screw around with the way beetroots are implemented, because they're beetroots, and I don't think there's a soul alive that particularly cares about keeping the mechanics of beetroots intact. To cut a long story short, to cut to the chase of it, the consequence is that spawn eggs can be used by dispensers. Normal seeds cannot. So for the purpose of keeping the mechanics consistent, I just made it so that all seeds can be used by dispensers, because it's easier than making it so that these seeds can't be. So more or less what I'm saying is I've made this entire underground area, and I'm going to use it to automatically farm my crops for me, while I sit back and do very little of consequence in the meantime. I just have to figure out how to do that first. So, I know in the grand scheme of things, I need, let's say, 3 mechanisms. I need a mechanism to plant the seeds, I need a mechanism to harvest the seeds, and then I need a mechanism to put the seeds to... I need a sorting mechanism, basically. We'll lump the put the seeds back and move everything else out of the way we'll lump that into one sorting mechanism. Now I know how to do 2 of those. I don't know how to do the sorting one, because there's about 50 different kinds of seeds in here, and an equal number of crops that need to be sorted. Okay, so I've crunched the numbers. There are 4 vanilla crops, technically 5, but I had to rewire how beetroots work. Beetroot seeds are also one of these ghast spawn egg items, so I count it as one of mine. I got the beetroot seeds in the divorce settlement with Vanilla Minecraft, so they're mine now. So I've got 10 crops plus the vanilla 4, which of course includes netherwort, because that can also be planted by dispensers. There's also pumpkins and melons, but I don't know why I'm making hand gestures, because this is really counterintuitive to actually making the content more than just me staring at a bunch of dirt, because I take my hand off the mouse, and so I'm moving even less on the screen, and you can't see the wild gesticulation that's happening behind the screen, so it's pointless all around. So I've lost my train of thought entirely. Basically, what you need to know is that I don't count pumpkins and melons because they grow differently from all these other crops, and they're much easier to farm. But basically, this means that if I wanted to grow netherwort and all the vanilla crops and all of the not vanilla crops, they're not really modded crops, all the ones I've added, I'd need 14 of these little cells, so 7 of these rows. I haven't actually counted how many of these I have. I'm going to do that right now on camera, because everyone knows that counting dirt is perhaps the most interesting content available on the internet in this day and age. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually have exactly 7. Okay, I might move this in one, because we are directly adjacent to the sea, and I'd like a little more space. Also, it's occurred to me that I need space to put in hoppers, probably behind these, so we may have to redo the entire mechanism behind this farm. But I don't anticipate that I'm going to be growing netherwort in here automatically, mostly because it's not a food, although having an automatic netherwort farm would admittedly be useful. And I also don't anticipate that I'm going to be growing hemp in here, because that is pretty much only good for making rope and paper. And nothing else. I'm wearing the wrong skin. Nothing else, Dewey. I'm looking at you. It's nothing to do with other similar plants in the same family that have been used for nefarious purposes throughout the years. It's a purely industrial crop. Anyways, so that brings the number down to 12. Now, I could probably run the numbers and get rid of some of the less useful ones, like having crunched it, I think beetroots and either corn or cabbage are used the least of all of the not quite modded crops. Anyway, the point is that you're probably hearing this over a shot of much more interesting content by this point. So nothing I actually say matters, because I can just redo the radio edit later and make it sound like this is all one cohesive narrative. But what you need to know is we're going to do 12 of these things, and I'm going to have to redo the entire farm because I got to get hoppers in. I don't even know how this started to begin with, but pretty much as long as I have audio running under this, I am good to go and can just claim that this is an episode and release it, because it's been 3 months since Rise of the Beemaster, and I'd like to get something published. Alright, let's try this again. I totally didn't run this once already and forget to actually put any of the redstone down. So, here's roughly what I think is going to happen. I think the cart, there's going to be a cart, and it's going to start here. It's going to get loaded up with all the requisite seeds. I still need to work out how exactly I'm going to do this. I don't know if I want to have all the carts looping around like this. But what I'm going to do is, I think instead of having each one of these be its own individual crop type, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of the items. Can I stand up, please? Thank you. All of the items output to a dispenser or a dropper that just randomly outputs a random spread of seeds into a minecart. So if there's, say, 8 times 4, 32. If there's, 32 slots here, it'd output 32 random seeds into the minecart, send it around. And then ideally, once it hit the end here, it'd hit that button, and that'd activate all the dispensers. Let me make sure this is actually activating all the way to the end here. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. And there doesn't need to be redstone there because that's getting powered. So that would activate all the dispensers. And then as a secondary mechanism, something would activate these dispensers, which would have water buckets in them that would dispense and wash all of the items into the central areas here, there, and there, which would ideally be piped over there to the end and begin the cycle again, in essence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this off camera. I'm going to record some sounds of me reacting to it either working or catastrophically failing, and then I'm going to splice those in post so that I can just record that at any time in the near future without having to worry about whether or not I'm actually able to speak, or in the case of my current state, am slurring words and having Winston edit my speech heavily in post so that it seems like I am still my usual eloquent self. Then I can just call it a day. I'm sure I lost my train of thought in there somewhere, but rest assured it'll make sense when you think about it for a really long time. Or if you don't think about it at all, because Lord knows that's what I did. Hey, it's Kirven editing in post. It's been like 2 months since I recorded this. Do you hear that clicking noise? What the hell is that? I've been listening to that for like the last 10 minutes. I do not know what it is. Like, it sounds like the sound it makes when I unmute my microphone, like that, but it's making it all the time. It's driving me crazy, and I have no idea how to get rid of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that audio. I'm going in and re-recording it live now because it was just driving me crazy. And to make matters worse, I've had 2 months to fix it. I'm still using the wrong skin. So, good job, Kirven. So, I think I got this working somewhat. Let's see, we got corn, pineapple, and carrots, because that's apparently what I have the most seeds of. Throw them in here, and when I hit this button, okay, that goes into the hopper. The server is still not doing well. I actually, yeah, to be fair, I did recently downgrade the server from 6 gigabytes of RAM back to 4. Still, you'd think that would be more than enough. Yeah, this keeps being a problem right here. I don't know why these don't dispense, but I think you can see more or less how it works. Yeah, what is up with this? That is odd. Are these hoppers not going the right way or something? Well, no, that wouldn't be it, because if it's in there, then the hoppers are clearly going the right way. Ah, Christ. Well, now I've gone and done it. That didn't happen. So what I think it might be is that it's something to do with these hoppers locking, but I don't know why they would be locked when it gets to here. Why are you bouncing now? What? You're not supposed to... Oh, Lord. I know what happened. Well, you see how it works, basically. So the important part now is I need to get the sorter working. That's just going to go all the way back, isn't it? I need to get a sorter working for it so that I can take the seeds out of the hoppers in the middle here and put them back in the cart. Stop clicking, please. I'm having to re-record so much audio because of that stupid clicking. I don't want to listen to any more of it. So there's a button here that'll trigger these dispensers and wash all those into the hopper, but I'm not going to press it because, they're not grown yet. But you see how it works, and I can go on to something else for a different episode and pay someone else to finish this for me. Lord knows I'm not going to. I will forget this exists within 5 minutes. Like, the fact that I'm recording this 2 months after I recorded the first part should tell you how dedicated I am to this project. All right, that's it. We can just fade out now, right? Can we just chalk this one up to having never happened? I'm good with that, right? You know, normally my episode titles generally look like a lot of gibberish, but rest assured they do have roots in something. I'm gonna have to deviate from my naming scheme and just this one's just gonna be called The Garden from Hell because I don't think it really deserves to be part of the naming scheme. We were supposed to have a plot going with the whole Zacticon thing that we started last episode, and then he went to Germany for like 2 months. 3 almost. He only came back in March. It's May now, I think. So we had to cut that one short. And this is just a mess, basically. This is filler. It's it's like when a TV show does an episode that was all a dream because they couldn't get all the cast in the room at the same time and there was a writer's strike or whatever. You know the ones. Like the Star Trek, the season 2 finale of The Next Generation, where they just go and do a clip show for an hour. You know that one. God, this would have been so much better as a clip show because I have so many clips from videos that aren't on the internet anymore. It would make so much more sense. I need to do that. God, that would have been so much better. You know what's even worse is that there is actually a title in my naming scheme I was going to go with. And this just turned out to be garbage. I'll have to use it for something else. And you'll know. You'll know when it is. I'm going to point it out. It's going to be in the description when I use that title. This was supposed to be the title for Brennyn Sabar Season 2, Episode 15. Ugh. God. I need to go to bed. I need a vacation. I can't take a vacation, though. We're still on goddamn lockdown.